Hi guys, and a very warm welcome back to the Wildlife channel, and I hope a Christmassy themed painting tutorial for you. So let's roll that intro and let's see what I'm going to be doing. Hi guys, and a very warm welcome back. Now, as I said just now, it is almost Christmas, December, and I wanted to do a video tutorial today that will really convey the idea of Christmas, winter and all those things. But of course, it's a wildlife channel now, so it has to be a wildlife subject. So what did I decide to do? Well, there we go. If I get this right, there we are. I painted a French or red-legged partridge, depending on the name that you know it by, but it's a lovely bird, a beautiful small partridge that we have in our countryside. And I saw this fellow with a few females a few years ago. Now the females, they just scattered before I even parked the car properly, but he stayed around just enough time for me to get 2 or 3 photos off before he disappeared also behind a mound of snow. And it was tremendous because he looked so striking against this beautiful snow that was in part light and part shade. And that's what I wanted to do for you today. Now, the video is going to be a time lapse, and so you'll see everything else. And I will put a little bit of narration over the top as we go through the film. But essentially, the full version of this will be over on my Patreon for you to enjoy and get the benefits from. So if you want to paint along with this one, nip on over to the Patreon, get involved with that. You'll be so welcome, and you can get so much more of how I painted this little fella. So I'm going to catch you all the other end. Let's see how we go. Hi everyone, and let's get on with this lovely Christmassy edition of a beautiful French or red-legged partridge, depending what you want to call it, in a snow setting. And I photographed this many years ago, and I'm just waiting for a nice time to maybe do this little picture. I think I also might do this in oil at some point, but certainly from today as a Christmassy offering to you guys for 2023, I wanted to do it as a full-length watercolor. So that's what we're going to get on with. Now, before I go any further, this is a piece of 300 pound in weight hot press paper. I believe it's an Arches or something very similar. It's a good quality piece of paper. Anyway, I just wanted to finish off a little bit more information in this part of the drawing. We've got quite a neck shape here which I wanted to put in, and I have sort of been looking, there's quite a bit breaking off through here as well, so I just want to put that in, and lots of little specks, little flecks on the feathering. It's sort of white and dark sort of thing. I'm just going to suggest some of those. But I think we've got enough done, and I've talked about the paper. You know my palette of paints, and the brushes are my normal red dot series from Rosemary, and if you want to go on them, then just put my name somewhere up here in capitals, unbroken. When you go to checkout, there's a little bit where it says referral, something like that. Just put my details in there, and then I get a little thank you from Rosemary for promoting them. But as you all well know, I'm a big lover of Rosemary's brushes, so I have known her and her brushes for, I don't know, well over 20 odd years. I think I've been using them, so I would never really contemplate using too many others, although 1 or 2 do get into the mix somewhere along the line. Anyway, enough of all that. Clean water, clean palette for once, believe it or not. I thought I'd make the effort as we're approaching Christmas. So we've got a clean palette, plenty of paper towel on hand, ready to do this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with the wash over the whole thing first, probably including the bird, although around this area you may sort of spot in the snow it's a little warmer, so that's going to be great for me because the bird is predominantly a lot of warm values and they don't get cooler down through here. So my wash is going to be made up of a soft violet blue, a little bit of orangey peachy color coming in through here, maybe a little stronger than what you see in the painting, and I'm going to run it all the way down through here because there are little divots of light in amongst the shadow of the snow. So I will put the shadowy parts of this snow on at a later point. Alright, so let's crack on then. Now I'm using a larger brush and I'm using the number 14 round. Lots of water involved. Let's get that going. Alright, now then, I wanted to put a little touch here and there. What I don't want is a strong colour back up here. If I use the colour that I've already mixed in here, it's going to be too much, too strong, too aggressive. So what I need to do is bring a little bit more paint into this. I'm going to come in with some of this blue violet colour. Now this is that lovely lavender, which I love to use. Now, two things about this. I am mixing a little more and making a cooler color using this color. You can see that I've got more orangey red going in so that it's not a pure green color that's emanating from this. So we've got this dirty gray color. Now the other thing you're going to notice about this is that this amount, apart from that coming in there, this is thicker paint than what was here. That's why that's rushed back in, I think. But so coming over here, I can now pull in the odd little bit. If you're not I think now we've got enough to be moving forward with, so I'm going to let this dry. Once again, I will use the hairdryer to expedite things, but you can quite happily leave this to dry quite naturally and it will not be a problem. Alright, catch you all very, very soon. Right. So for the bird and getting into the nitty gritty, I'm coming down to the number 5 again, and this time I'm using slightly stronger paint. And I want to look at the whiter, lighter areas before I start getting into the dark. In watercolor, as you all know, we work from light through to dark. Alright, so then our first mix will be a sort of warmish color, very similar to the one that we did as the initial wash. And I'm going to be looking at where I want some of these colors. So, first and foremost then, a little bit of Indian yellow going into the mix. We're going to come back into our favorite translucent orange. As it stands, that is incredibly aggressive as a color. I'm not saying it won't work, I think it's just too strong for our needs. So what I might do is I'm going to put a pile here, I think. I don't want to lose that lovely blue color. Little pile there, a little bit of that lavender in there. see how that takes it. That's a lot cooler. You can see how the blue is influencing the coolness of this fire, as it were. I think, again, if you're not too sure, check it out on your piece of paper, see where that is. I think that's good to go. Look at the shape of the eye, make sure that you follow it correctly. Little taps down, little colour there, coming around and edging that ear tuft, and then that goes back up to meet this section here. Coming down this way, almost drawing very thin lines in here, almost like drawing. But I think I can come down now with that cheek mark. It comes down to a little point here somewhere. That's nice and soft, and the throat comes down through here, and there is the sort of start of these marks through here. Now I am not counting, I am merely sort of tapping in little dark specks. They come down into the chest, and then they start giving way to the more brownier colours. So let's just mix a bit of that up. Just bring those on. They're darker than the surround, but they still look a little bit flecky. Alright, so enough of this. Let's carry on. And I think there we've got a little bit different to the actual bird itself. I think I've sort of, my drawing's a little bit out on there, but I think we'll get away with it. I think I'm not going to worry too much about that. I want to put a little bit dark down in the base of this shaft here. Okay, and I think we're dry enough to go in with some of these darks here as well. Now I'm looking at the shape of some of these because they are quite pointed, so I need them to sort of replicate that little pointy suggestion on some of these. Very soft, it's not heavy. Okay, I'm going to leave that like that to set up. I'm just going to come in with a very subtle peachy warm colour. I'm going to use some of this, and I'm going to take an awful lot of paint out of my brush, and I'll pick up a little wash just to bring it around here on this part of the cheek, just to make it glow ever so slightly more than I had it. And then I'm going to do the same on here, keeping well away from anything that I've just painted, certainly with regards to the eyes. Just want to put in a subtle warm colour in there, bit of a glow. And I'm going to come in, I'm going to mix up some of my Viridian colour into some of these colours. Now I want to make them quite greenish, but I also want an element of warmth to them. So I'm going to put a lot of Viridian into this, and I'm going to come in here and start looking at some of the flecks out through the back here as well, and sort of divots like that, just a quick divot into that snow, and you start to see bits of grass popping through here and there. That's all I'm doing, just looking at that, just scratching and scribbling. And then we're going to put some warm-up values over as well, so it's not all one. And look at the structures, some of these bits of grasses that are sort of poking out from the bits of snow where they are a little longer and there wasn't enough snowfall to cover them. And that's what we're doing. And I'm mixing up some of these colours. Now some of these greens are quite luscious, they're quite good colour of green. I'm going to use some of this lovely turquoise, cobalt turquoise in here, mix it with some of that orange, make a warmer green. I'm going to bring some of that into play up into some of these areas up through here. No, I think we got it good. I think it's fine. You know, you can keep on with this until you overdo it, or you can keep on until you're happy with what you've got. There's no point when you've got to say enough. It's really when you feel that you've done enough to the whole thing. I'm just sort of putting a few extra dirty marks down through here. Okay everybody, one painting of a red-legged, or indeed a French partridge, completed. I had a lot of fun with it. I do hope you enjoyed the process of watching me paint it, albeit as a time lapse. And like I said earlier, if you wanted to get the full version, fully narrated, and indeed even paint along with me, then nip on over to the Patreon, because that's where that and so many other videos are for you to get involved with and enjoy. So enough of all of that. Don't forget there are also courses. All the links to all of that stuff are in the Show More tab underneath this and all the other videos. All I really wanted to say at this point was a great big thank you to each and every one of you for your support during the last year, or indeed the last few years, and I do hope that I will enjoy your support moving forward as a wildlife art channel in 2024. Thank you also for all the comments that have come in from my last video. There were some tremendous comments full of support, as I said earlier, and I just want to thank you all for that. That is very, very kind of you to take the trouble. So I'm going to wish each and every one of you a stunkingly good Christmas, and have fun and lots of presents and all those things with your family, your friends, your loved ones, and I look forward to you all as my journey continues in 2024. I look forward to your company and your support during the course of next year. Take care everybody, have fun, happy Christmas.